folks, welcome to this Sunday's Sunday Catechism, where we're on to question 11. Now, before I read it, I just want to share a little reflection with you. As I'm working through the Catechism, it strikes me that what we're dealing with here, at least in a lot of the questions, are what I would call forgotten doctrines. And this is especially true of this particular one. So, let's read it, and then we'll say a couple of things about it. Now, I think that the doctrine of providence is one that is largely neglected. We tend to think things that happen to us are random, or we tend to think they're controlled by other people, or we tend to think that we can control them. We certainly are inclined to believe that the Lord is not in control. Now, we need to be careful with the in control bit, because God is never the author of sin, and we're not maintaining, this is not teaching that human beings have no responsibility, or that he just moves pieces around like on a chessboard. So I like the scripture proofs that are given in the Catechism. So for example, Psalm 145:17, "The Lord is righteous in all his ways and faithful in all he does." That's reminding us that God's works are good. Psalm 104:24, "How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures." And again, that reminds us that what we call nature isn't just random. And this huge variety that's within this created world, variety of fauna and flora, variety of animals, I think is testimony to the glory and beauty of God. Isaiah 28:29, "All this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent." I think the devil's constant temptation to us is to doubt both the power of God and the goodness of God, and to see his plan as being wonderful. Sometimes that's hard in the midst of ugliness and sorrow, but that's the point of it being there. Hebrews 1:3, "The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word." So Jesus sustains all things by his powerful word. And again, when people are worried about the climate crisis, or maybe we're worried about many, many different things, to know that the Lord's hand is there is very important. Psalm 103:19, "The Lord has established his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all." And I think this is possibly my favourite. "Are not two sparrows sold for a penny?" Matthew 10:29. "Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows." You stop, memorize that, reflect on it, and it is incredibly, incredibly beautiful, incredibly wonderful. So, think about that today. God's providence, God's works of providence are holy, they're pure, they're wise, they're powerful, and he does it to preserve and govern all his creatures and all their actions, including us. We worship the Lord. I think I will leave you with a hymn. I'll go and get one just now, and I'll leave you with that. And I think I'll leave you with a hymn again. This is from Charlotte Chapel, where it was last week. The song is "It Is Well With My Soul," and most of you will know something of the story of it, or some of you will anyway. The words were written by Horatio Spafford, He was a successful attorney and real estate investor who had lost a fortune in the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. And then his 4-year-old son died of fever. So thinking that a vacation would do his family some good, he sent his wife and 4 daughters on a ship to England, planning to join them. However, when they were crossing the Atlantic Ocean, the ship was involved in a collision and sank. More than 200 people lost their lives, including all 4 of his daughters. His wife Anna, on arriving in England as a survivor, sent a telegram to her husband that began, "Saved, alone, what shall I do?" Now he set off for England, and as he was sailing past the spot where the ship sank, the captain of the ship, aware of what had occurred, informed the family this is where his daughters had drowned. And as he thought about this, as well as the heartache and sorrow, words of comfort filled him, and he wrote these words: "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to know, it is well with my soul." That's someone who believed in God's goodness and providence, even in the midst of unspeakable tragedy. see you tomorrow if you're joining us for Coffee and Colossians. If not, we shall continue with the Catechism next Sunday.